Welcome back, Class 9, Class of 2021. This is your English teacher, Sir Mara, and we are back again for another grammar lesson. In the previous classes, we have explained all the changes that happens in the simple and the continuous tense of the passive voice. And for today's class, we will be doing changes that happens in the present perfect and the perfect continuous tense of the passive voice. In our previous classes, I have given you a couple of assignments, and from those assignments it has come to my knowledge that a handful of you still are not clear with the changes in the tenses and the rules that are to be followed. So before diving into our topic today, let us do a little recap on those. Okay, here again we have the 5 most important rules to follow whenever you change active to passive voice. Memorize them and follow and use these rules always. Now, number 1, identify the tense of the given sentence. Number 2, memorize the formulas of all the tenses and their types by heart, all the tenses meaning the present, past and the future tense. Number 3, identify the subject, the verb and the object. Number 4, find out whether the object is in the singular or the plural form. Number 5, in the passive voice, the main verb is always changed to its third form of the verb, which is the past participle. Now, using these rules, let us do a little exercise on the previous topic, which is the present continuous tense. The formula for the present continuous tense is given there in the passive voice, and I would like to mention that in the passive voice, object is given more importance. That's why it's in the front and subject will be at the back. So subject and object interchanges. And in the continuous tense, do remember that being, look at the arrow there, being is always added to the continuous tense after the auxiliary verbs is, am and are. Exercises. Number 1, I am making my bed. Know the tense. It's obvious. The tense is obvious. It's the present continuous tense. The subject is I, the verb is making, object my bed. Remember that the object is very important. Find out whether it's in the plural or singular form. That way you will know which auxiliary verb to use. Let's change. I am making my bed. In the passive will be my bed is being made by me, like the formula given. Number 2, is she telling the truth? It's a question, so auxiliary verb will come first. Is the truth being told by her? Question mark. Do not forget the punctuation marks. If you forget them, marks will be cut in your tests and your exams. Number 3, C, are the girls not doing the dishes? Not is there, which is the negative. Your answer will be, are the dishes not being done by the girls? D, why is he turning off the fan? Answer will be, why is the fan being turned off by him? Whenever changing active to passive voice, remember that the main verb is always changed to its third form of the verb. Look at the main verbs in A. Making, make will be changed into made, its third form. Tell will be changed to told, third form. Doing will be changed to done, third form. Turning changed into turned. And in the continuous tense, a new word being is added to the passive voice. Those points that I've just mentioned are very important whenever you change active to passive voice. I will repeat, when changing continuous tense, in the passive voice, being is always added. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Today's topic will be changing active to passive voice in the present perfect and the present perfect continuous tense. In the present perfect tense, the formulas are given below. Subject plus has or have plus third form of the verb plus object. Has and have there make it the present. Now, what is the present perfect tense? When do we use it? Your answer lies here. Listen very carefully. The present perfect tense is used to describe something that happened in the past, but the exact time it happened is not important. It has a relationship with the present. I have done my homework is the same as I have finished my homework in the past. It is not important at what exact time, only that it is now done. So basically, when we mention something that already happened in the past without mentioning the time it happened, it is in the present perfect form. When changing active to passive voice in the present perfect tense, the main focus is placed upon the object. This we have mentioned a lot of times. With either has or have and adding been. This word been will be very important. Been to the third form of the verb, which is the past participle. The formula for the passive voice in the present perfect tense will be object plus has or have plus been plus third form of the verb plus the subject. Memorize these formulas right away. On to the next slide. Changing affirmative sentences to the passive form in the present perfect tense. Affirmative sentences are sentences having full stop at the end and are simply statements. Sita has driven a car. The formula for the active voice is the subject plus has or have plus third form verb plus object. When changing it to the passive voice, this happens. Objects and subjects interchanges. In the passive voice, we add a new word been, and this is the answer you get. A car has been driven by Sita. Object will be the main focus in the passive voice. Next one, changing interrogative sentences to the passive form in the present perfect tense. Interrogative sentences are sentences having questions or sentences asking questions. Again, the object and subject interchanges. They are the formulas. Study them, look at them carefully, and we'll be doing exercises in the next slide. Changing active to passive voice in the present perfect tense. We have had dinner. The rules to follow are: know the tense. This is the present perfect tense. Find out the subject, the verb, and the object. Which is the subject here? We is the subject. We has or have plus verb plus object. That's the formula. So the subject is we, the verb is had, and the object is dinner. So your answer will be object plus has or have plus been plus third form of the verb plus the subject. So dinner has been had by us. Number 2, has the plumber fixed the pipes? The pipes is the object. Remember, in the rules, know whether the object is in the singular or plural form. So the pipes are in the plural form, so we pick have. It's in the interrogative form, so have will come first. Have the pipes been fixed by the plumber? Number 3, Sita has solved all the sums correctly. All the sums are the object, so object is in the plural form again here. So your answer will be all her sums have been solved by Sita correctly. Number 4, who has stolen my pencil? Who will change into by whom? I will repeat, in active voice, who will change into by whom in the passive, and whom, W-H-O-M, in the active voice will change into W-H-O, who, in the passive. Memorize those. So by whom has my pencil been stolen will be your answer. Number 5, have you ever flown an aeroplane? An aeroplane, the object is in the singular form, so we'll use has. Has an aeroplane ever been flown by you? Listen carefully, look at the pictures carefully. Number 6, the stranger has sung her last song. Her last song is the object, sung is the verb, so your answer will be her last song has been sung by the singer. I hope all of you understood that. Like I've said in the previous classes, if you do not get the explanation there, you can always ask me and call me up on my cell phone. Now let us move on to the present perfect continuous tense. What changes occur? In the present perfect continuous tense, there are no passive form. Remember, in the present perfect continuous tense, not just the present, in the past and future also. Perfect continuous tense of the present, the past and the future have no passive form. Okay, the structural formula for the present perfect continuous tense is given here in red. Subject plus has or have plus been plus first form of the verb plus the object. In your tests and in your exams, there can be trick questions like these. Sita has been watching TV all day. If you know the rules that I've set, number one is know the tense. If you know that it's in the perfect continuous tense, you'll simply write no passive, or you can just copy the question as it is. Things to note. Keep in mind that it is not common in written English to change the active sentences from perfect progressive. Perfect progressive is the perfect continuous tense into passive sentences. In written English, it is not common, it's not used, it's not possible. But they could be rarely changed in spoken English. Passive forms of perfect continuous tense rarely are used in spoken English, but never in written English. Do note that. And with that, I think we have finished our course for today. For our next class, we will be doing the past tense, how to change active to passive voice in the past tense.